Hi, I'm Jess, and I'm on a quest to find a subgenre of books that can be broadly categorized as horror that I actually like. I've decided to try a Southern Gothic horror book, A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. Hopefully, it won't be too spooky. Even if it is, at least I like T. Kingfisher, so it won't be all bad. Sam is an archaeoentomologist. That means she studies bugs found at archaeology digs. She was supposed to be going on a dig for 6 months, but it got put on hold because they found human remains on the site. Now Sam is furloughed until they decide what happens with the remains. Unfortunately, her roommates had already sublet her room, so with no place to stay and not knowing when she'll be called back to work, she decided to visit her mother. Something weird is going on with her mother. Sam's brother, Brad, said she had been acting strangely, and Sam learns that he is right. When she returns home, the house has been repainted. Gone are the bright colored walls that her mother chose when they moved in, replaced with various shades of white, like when her grandmother owned the house. And her grandmother's painting of a Confederate wedding is back above the fireplace. Strange things are happening at the house. First, there are no bugs in the yard. The next day, Sam wakes up to find her room full of ladybugs. And then Sam starts experiencing what she assumes is sleep paralysis. But is it? Is the house being haunted by Sam's grandmother? Or maybe the underground children that Grandma used to threaten her grandchildren are responsible for the strangeness? And why is the house being watched by vultures? I enjoyed A House with Good Bones. I've yet to read something by T. Kingfisher that I don't enjoy, although I will admit that I don't think the book will be everyone's cup of tea. It's written in first person, which is my personal favorite type of narration, but not everyone enjoys first person. The narration includes a lot of asides. Again, I like this. I think it was a good way to add exposition, and it reflects the way people think. It's normal for a sight or a sound or a smell to trigger a memory or a thought, and for your mind to go off on a bit of a tangent before refocusing on what you're doing. Although I really enjoyed these asides and felt like they added humor to the story, I imagine some readers would find them irritating. If you don't like a more stream of consciousness style of narration, then this book won't be for you. I overall enjoyed the book, but there are some things that I didn't like. It was a bit slow. It felt like it took a really long time to reveal what was going on. It was frustrating waiting for Sam to figure out what was going on, or for something big to happen that revealed what was going on. It felt like Sam was really slow to pick up on clues. But that's not really fair. As a reader, I knew that this book is a horror, and that there's likely something supernatural going on. And that made it easier for me to figure things out. Sam, however, does not know that she's living in a horror story. So she's looking for reasonable explanations for the weird things that are happening. She's not going to jump to the conclusion that something supernatural is happening to her. Magic isn't real. Ghosts aren't real. The underground children are just her grandmother's version of the boogeyman. They aren't real. Sam's reactions and thought process were realistic. But it was still frustrating to read at times. The climax was also way too fast. After the frustrating wait for something to happen, when it did, it was resolved way too quickly and easily. Sam might not agree with me on the easy part, but the first thing she tried worked, and that counts as easy in my books. I just feel like there's something lacking with A House with Good Bones. It's my understanding that Southern Gothic is supposed to critique elements of Southern culture. T. Kingfisher does a little bit, but I wish she had done more. Grandma is the only character that is overtly racist and pushes for certain social norms and behaviors to be upheld. But she's also dead and the clear villain of the story. The story doesn't present a nuanced look into what it's like growing up around people like Grandma. People who still idolize the Confederacy more than 150 years after the Civil War. Maybe it's just my cultural background that prevents me from engaging with the text in that way. I'm not American, and I'm not very familiar with the culture in the southern United States. Maybe someone who is from the South will get more out of reading the book than I did. But this book just wasn't written for me, and that's okay. Not every book is going to be written in a way that specifically appeals to me. I still enjoyed it and definitely recommend it. I think I need to read more Southern Gothic fiction to figure out if I just struggle to relate to the genre or if A House with Good Bones did a poor job exploring the common themes of Southern Gothic. If you have any recommendations for Southern Gothic books that do a good job representing the genre, please leave them in the comment section. If you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe for more bookish content. I'll be exploring horror books for the rest of October, and I hope you stick around to watch. Thanks for watching and have a good rest of your day.